I always try to sniff out bullshit arguments. And by that, I don't mean just simply false arguments, but arguments where the person who's making that claim knows that he's wrong, but is making it anyway for some ulterior motive. And I see this a lot with people who are arguing for against global warming, against evolution, against men's rights, against feminism, against raising taxes on the rich. I see these sort of arguments that don't make sense. And by that I mean they say two things that don't comport. They're opposites of each other, and they make both arguments vehemently, even though they don't make sense together. And I like to point it out. For example, with global warming, right? NASA believes that global warming is real, right? Harvard believes that global warming is real. Every other university that has made a statement on the subject believes that global warming is real. Now, if you think that scientists are liars, not that their scientists are wrong, that's a reasonable argument to make if you believe that scientists are wrong, but that they actually know that they're lying, right? If you're making that argument, you truly believe that, then you would never believe NASA, right? You'd never believe Harvard, right? Because they're lying. They're liars. Why would you then go and pay for the technology that they develop? Why would you then go pay for the doctors that they produce? Why would you then go pay for the engineers that they produce? You know that they're liars, right? So that doesn't make any sense, right? Holding both ideas at the same time, where you give your money away to liars and at the same time believe that they're liars, doesn't comport, right? So these are the type of people I believe are being purposefully dishonest, right? I see it also with men's rights activists, right? So, for example, the Amazing Atheist, right? He made a video saying, "Oh, I believe in equal rights for both men and women. Yes, women have legitimate grievances, but men have those grievances too, and we should be fighting for both of them and not just for one. And that's what feminists do, and that's why they're wrong." Now, if you're arguing that that's why the feminists are wrong because they're fighting for one specific group's rights and not for the other, that's a legitimate argument to make, right? I could probably even support that argument, actually. But then I've seen a Thunderfoot video and another video by the Amazing Atheist where they either argue or agree with the argument that when feminists are fighting for equal rights, that they're perpetuating victimhood, right? So you cannot hold both thoughts at the same time, right? If women have true grievances, then they're not perpetuating victimhood but fighting for them. And if men also have grievances, then doesn't that mean if you're fighting for them that you're also perpetuating victimhood? So to me, this sounds like a bullshit argument. It sounds to me like these people hate feminism for whatever reason, and they want to say that these people are perpetuating victim. That's their main argument, right? They want to say that, but at the same time, they don't want to be called misogynist or sexist, so that then they turn around and make the argument that yes, both sides have legitimate grievances, and they have another way of attacking feminism, right? And they're still attacking feminism, but they're trying to do it in a more PC way, right? But if they really believe that they have that feminism has legitimate grievances, they wouldn't be then attacking those specific arguments that they make, right? And they do it all the time. So it sounds like bullshit to me. And a third example I wanted to give was with taxes, right? Now, conservatives always say that, if the religious conservatives especially, that Jesus wanted us to donate. They didn't want big government telling us what to do, blah, 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 right? When I ask them, why shouldn't we raise taxes to help the poor, right? They'll say something like, well, if you're not earning that money and you're just getting a welfare check, then you don't have an incentive to get a job, right? And so you're not incentivizing them to work hard, And that sounds like pretty decent argument that you actually care about these people, that you're just trying to get them to work on their own. You're not selfish, you don't care about your own money. You care about them. You care about these people who are getting this free paycheck because you want them to work hard. You want them to earn their pay so they can be successful members of society. It sounds good, it sounds like a decent argument that a decent human being would make, right? And then they simultaneously say that they would rather donate money, right? And that also sounds like a pretty good argument on the surface, actually. So it's a little bit different from the other two examples that I gave. Oh, I care about the poor. I want to donate to them. That's how much I care about the poor. I just hate big government, right? But that doesn't make any sense. If you're donating money to the poor, isn't that money that they didn't earn, right? It's the same concept as it is with the government, right? The paycheck doesn't belong to them. It doesn't matter if you're giving it willingly or if a big government is giving it. In the end, what's happening is these poor people are getting a paycheck that they don't deserve. And in fact, it would disincentivize them from getting a job, right? So the argument that they're making is that you shouldn't donate money, right? You shouldn't donate money because if you do, well, you're disincentivizing them from working because they didn't earn that paycheck, right? So it doesn't make sense, right? It sounds good, but there's logical inconsistencies, which makes me believe that they actually just don't give a shit about the poor. And all they care about is their own money, right? Which is fine, right? That's fine. But you should be honest about it, right? Make that argument. Right? I don't give a shit about these people, you know? I'll donate what I want, when I want, what I feel like it, and whatever. That's the end of it. You can make that argument, you know? It's a fine argument, you know? I don't agree with it, but it's a legitimate argument. But don't piss on them and tell them it's raining, right? Don't tell them that you're doing it for their own good, or that you prefer donations when the same problem exists with donations as it does with welfare check, right? In either both cases, they're not earning that money, right? The problem exists with donations, but you don't bring it up, right? You don't talk about it, right? You don't talk about how donating is bad too because they didn't earn that paycheck, right? Because that makes you look like an asshole, right? So you make these nice sounding arguments, it seems like to me. So tell me what you guys think about it.